Radhe Radhe. Today is Saturday, 3rd May 2025, and here we are to present to you a recap video from today's Bhagavad Gita study session. Of course, a concluding session that we had to wrap up our journey of chapter 10. Along with me, here is Mummy.
Radhe Radhe.
So I'll bring up the screen. We'll take a look at what little bit we want to cover in this video. As a reminder, quiz one, the one quiz we had on the entire chapter for chapter 10 today, you can look at the description for the video to get the usual community portal link where you'll get all the slides, especially for a quiz like this with many questions. Do spend some time going through all of that. In this video, Mummy and I will each just talk about one question that's a little dear or meaningful to us that we feel could be beneficial for everyone. So for me, that is much later towards the end of the quiz, which is question 13. Instead of all the detailed knowledge, what are we supposed to simply know? Simply know is in double quotes because that's coming from one of the verses. In fact, this is from the very last verse of chapter 10, verse 42. The answer here being, by one fraction of his being, Sri Krishna pervades and supports his entire creation. So it's really, I think, insightful because you go through this journey of chapter 10, 40 plus verses, of which, 20 or so in those verses, Sri Krishna talks about his infinite opulences. He only describes a finite number, of course, that we can hear or listen to, but he also then concludes by saying, why do you even need to know all this? Or what is the use of all that detailed knowledge? In fact, the crux, the summary is to always appreciate that God, Sri Krishna, is everywhere. He creates this entire manifestation, this creation, the set of universes. He pervades them, he's everywhere. And he also supports, he maintains, he sustains all of that. If we recognize that, then we know that anything and everything is Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is in and everything. And we pick an entity, an object, a personality, a situation, and you can come up with your basis for meditation, for devotion. So, chapter 10, verse 42, leading here to question 13, is certainly, I think, meaningful and dear to me right here. All right. Mommy, we'll hear from you about a question that is very special to you.
Well, Gagan, before that, based on your question, and we can go through the a picture of the recap video also. It's very important,
Ah,
right?
yes.
See, you said he's pervading everything. And on the picture of this recap video, you have shown certain things. So we can, when we see the moon, we can think of Sri Krishna. When we see sun, we can think of Sri Krishna. When we see time ticking by, that is Sri Krishna. Krishna said, he is Himalaya, he is Shankar, and he is the, that's garland in his neck, Vasuki, and he is Ganges. So he's pervading everything. Whenever we see such all these things in nature, we should be all the time reminded of Sri Krishna. So now my favorite question is from verse number 11. The question is, why does Sri Krishna, dwelling within the hearts of the wise, destroy the darkness born of ignorance with the luminous lamp of knowledge? He does so out of compassion for them. Oh my God. Now the thing is, who are wise? Wise are those who absorb their mind in the Supreme Lord. Wise are those who remind themselves all the time that Sri Krishna is living right here in our hearts, right? He is dwelling in our hearts. So, those who can all the time remember that Sri Krishna is dwelling in their hearts and who attach their mind with Sri Krishna, then what happens? Then Sri Krishna bestows his grace upon them. He bestows his grace upon them, and then Because in their thoughts, in their activities, day to day work, every minute they are thinking of Sri Krishna. Behind all their activities in their mind is Sri Krishna. Otherwise, the ignorant people, or the ignorance is what? That is the darkness when we don't know what is God. Once we understand what is God, once we have full faith in God, then we start getting God's grace. That is very, very important. So He bestows that Yogmaya energy upon that soul, and then the soul starts moving from the different gunas to the Shuddha Sattva guna, the divine mode of goodness. Okay, so that is how, by God's bestowing of divine senses, divine mind, and divine intellect to the soul, then what happens? That we can think of God all the time. And so this verse is very, very important for me, that out of compassion, once we have full faith in God, then out of compassion, He starts reminding us that He is dwelling in our hearts, and He destroys the darkness, that ignorance we have. And then what do we get? That luminous lamp of knowledge. We get the true knowledge of God, which further enforces our true faith in God. Over to you, Gagan.
Yeah, thank you, Mommy. So indeed, chapter 10, verse 11, here from question 7. So yeah, as we said, take a look at the description for the video to get all the other quiz questions as well. Continue to review the material. And as we said in class, thank you, of course, so much for being with us this entire journey of chapter 10, which means when we meet next time, that's Saturday, 10th May 2025, same time, 8 a.m. Central Time, 6:30 p.m. India time, we shall be commencing our journey of chapter 11. Lots of special sight coming ahead. We'll do a preview, we'll see what's in store. Also, keep in mind there is going to be the new portal mechanism to join the sessions. So please look out for all the usual announcements through the various messaging and social media portals you are used to make sure you're up to date with what that process looks like. Ask early enough if there are questions well ahead of next Saturday's session. But with all that, then we definitely look forward to embarking together on that journey of chapter 11. Thank you so much from my side. Radhe Radhe.
And I would like to wish everybody to gain divine knowledge with God's grace. Thank you all, and Radhe Radhe.